Diarra from Detroit on BET Plus about a person who goes missing after an incredible date and the search for answers. Diarra Kilpatrick and Jon Chaffin here to chat all about it. Thank you both so much for your time today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Good morning.
Within the first couple of moments of watching the very first episode, I was completely hooked. I cannot wait to finish watching the whole rest of the series. But Diarra, you said that this was inspired by watching Columbo, Murder, She Wrote, and all those mystery shows with your grandmother. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I have really warm, nostalgic feelings about that, about being on my grandmother's couch with the plastic on her couch sticking to my leg. And we watched a lot of these shows. And as I got older, I wanted to see that, but with a little sexier vibe. We've been saying we don't know who wanted to smash Columbo. I don't know. I don't think anyone did. But we wanted to see it with a little sexy edge and also infusing it with that Detroit, which is just a special sauce.
Jon, let's talk a little bit about the character of Danger. And when you read him, what were your initial thoughts bringing him to this project?
When I read Danger, I was like, I know this guy. I know this guy. I grew up with this dude. I know him. And he's a thug with a therapist. He's both there. He's in the street, but he's also in the room trying to better himself. But he's a Renaissance guy, and I think that the audience is going to fall in love with him because how you meet him is not how you're going to be left with him. So he has a beautiful arc, and just like all of the characters on the show, the arc is wonderful, is beautiful. He really rides for Diarra, and I think that when you come into his world and our world, you'll see a little bit of yourself as well.
Oh, and I feel like you're going to find that with all the characters, because Diarra, when you are trying to solve this mystery, it's not just you. I mean, you're bringing along your friends, your coworkers. I mean, everybody's coming with you for this journey.
Yes. It's important to have her team, because at the end of the day, she has no business doing what she's doing. So it's nice that she has her backup from the community.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the other people that are on the show. Morris Chestnut, Felicia Rashad, who's actually in Chicago for a play at Steppenwolf right now. But let's talk about some of the other people. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's been one of the joys as a creator, is to blend these icons, these legends that people know and love with emerging talent and these fresh faces like Jon Chaffin and Claudia Logan and Dominique Perry, who a lot of people know from Insecure, and Brian Terrell Clark. But then also we have, as you're mentioning, also Harry Lennox, a son of Chicago, also a theater giant who's done a lot of work out there. I think he's working on bringing a big theater to Chicago now. But Felicia and Morris and John Sally, and just fusing it all together in this world, our cast is fantastic. You're going to see people you love, and you're going to see people that you're going to fall in love with.
Jon, Diarra had mentioned as far as watching this, with her grandmother and kind of having these stories, but as far as like your memories, as far as like, these Columbo, Murder, She Wrote, these types of shows, what was your initial thought of like, oh my goodness, this brings me right back to, whether you were an adult or a child, watching these types of shows?
I thought it was genius. My mom, they used to watch Murder, She Wrote, Perry Mason too. So I thought it was genius. And you don't really get to see us in these type of stories in this genre. So to be able to be in this genre, we really get to peel back the layers and show the full-fledged human beings that we are. And so reading the script, when I read the pilot, I was like, oh my God, I don't know who I have to speak to, but I have to be a part of this. And thankfully, I know Diarra from Perry Mason. So that kind of helped me a little bit, but we still had to do the work to get there. But I thought that this was a very fresh, new story, a new take, and I think it's going to fill the void that is missing in storytelling right now. And I hope that the audience feels the same way.
Diarra, I want to ask what kind of feedback you got, whether from friends or family or, people on the show, because oftentimes we're at a place in our life and maybe we find a connection with somebody else and it may not work out the way we want to. And sometimes it's like, hey, we got ghosted, let it be. And sometimes we're searching for more answers than we're probably ready for. I mean, maybe talk a little bit about that aspect, of the show, because I feel so many people can connect to just that part right there.
Yeah, and I've had people ask me like, maybe I should go looking for this person who ghosts me. And I'm like, no, no, please, please let it go. Just go to therapy like Danger and just talk it out with your therapist. I hope that this show is wish fulfillment for people that's happened to, where they're like, man, I hope this guy didn't reject me. I really hope he's just been kidnapped. You know, I really hope he's just been taken. So I hope that people get into it for that aspect. But my personal advice is if you have been ghosted and it didn't work out, just let it go and go work on yourself a little bit more.
Work on yourself and watch the series.
Yeah, go home and watch the show. Yes. Exactly.
Hey, John, you mentioned your family's here in Chicago.
Yeah, my mom's side, they all grew up on the west side. So I feel like a Midwesterner, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully I get back out there really soon. Definitely not in the winter time. I'm gonna come in the summer.
Detroit and Chicago are, our sister cities, so it's the same weather whether it's there or here.
100%. And I remember going to Chicago when I was a little girl to go shopping. We would go shopping for Christmas and get our popcorn and get our pizza. And I would see the women in the fur coats with the tall boots. And that really stuck in my head as like a fashion moment that Detroit and Chicago both share. Y'all know how to rock a fur out there too.
We know how to rock a fur. Thank you both so much for your time today. Diarra from Detroit on BET Plus starting March 21st. Go ahead and check it out. I'm telling you, within the first couple of moments of the show, you are going to be hooked.
Yes.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you both so much for your time today.
Thank you. Great interview.
Thank you.